Everyone. Hey everyone, good morning. Hope you can hear me and hope you're doing well. This is Roman Polnar, and today let's talk about making college more affordable by paying less out of pocket. Look, here's the thing. There are only two ways to pay less for college. One is to choose low-price colleges, and two is choose high-price colleges that won't expect you to pay the full price out of your pocket. When I first say this to parents, they're always intrigued by the idea of sending their kids to really good schools and expensive schools at really low prices, right? Who wouldn't be intrigued? But, at the same time, they're rightfully skeptical because it's the first time they thought of it this way and because it's just not intuitive. So I'll explain how this works. And I'm going to show you how you can send your kids to really good and expensive colleges without having to pay their full sticker price. But first, let me tell you a quick story that inspired this post. So if you see me wearing this jacket right now, there's a bit of a story behind it. This is literally the only piece of clothing that I have that I remember the exact date that I bought it. All right, here it is. You can see the logo, and I'm going to tell you about it in a second. But I bought this on, it was September 23rd of 2013. It was one day after completing my first Ironman triathlon, which turned out to be the most grueling, but one of the most satisfying experiences of my life. And it relates to this video. So there's a reason I'm sharing this story, so please just bear with me. All right, so this inaugural race was scheduled for December 22nd, 2013. There were over 2,700 people that registered. And this race attracted a ton of interest because it was just in one of the most beautiful settings in the world. And it was also supposed to be one of the most challenging in the Ironman circuit, in part because of the terrain. And the second part was because of elevation, right? If you know Tahoe, the lake sits at over 6,000 feet above sea level. And then we had to climb another 6,500 feet on the bike portion. So anyways, this was a high-profile race, attracted a lot of people, and it promised to be a one-of-a-kind event. By the way, hint, hint, this is in part relatable to college planning too. I'll talk about that in a moment. Anyways, everyone prepared for a beautiful day of racing in one of the most gorgeous places in the world. Instead, 2 days before the race, this rogue storm just blows in from the north with strong winds, rain, and totally drop in temperature, 20, 30 degrees colder than it should have been. So everyone scrambles to find whatever additional layers of clothing that we can, because we all planned for, sunny 70-degree weather, and instead it was windy, rainy, gloomy, and really cold. Now, if that wasn't enough, the day before the race, it snowed. Just a total freak storm, because it never snows in Tahoe in September, but it did that day. So anyways, on race morning, we all woke up to snow and frigid sub 25-degree temperatures. Just absolutely not what we wanted, planned, or prepared for. Anyways, long story short, we swam our 2.4 miles, we biked 118, and then we ran a marathon in totally different conditions than what we expected, right? And while it was absolutely brutal, it was also an incredible experience for those who finished the race, and it was a great learning lesson in life. And in the end, here's what happened. 25% of the people who registered never showed up to the starting line. Another quarter had to drop out during the race without finishing, and only half of the people who signed up crossed the finish line, mostly healthy and smiling. So here's the point of the story. People who finished did something that the others did not. Number one, they showed up. Number two, they were better prepared. And number three, they were more flexible and stuck with it and adjusted no matter what happened. And the exact same things apply to getting your kids into good colleges without overpaying, without going into debt and ruining your finances. And just like in any race, the number one thing is you just got to show up. but you also have to come prepared. You know, in endurance events, we have to really prepare fully. We have to be prepared physically, mentally, emotionally. We have to know the cores. You know, our nutrition has to be dialed in, our gear has to be in good working order, and we need to prepare for the unexpected. That's why endurance athletes have extra gear, extra nutrition, extra clothing, and they have support. And we also have to be flexible and adjust to changes in the conditions, changing in circumstances, changes because of breakdowns, accidents, and even if things happen inside of our bodies during the race that we didn't plan for. And so, no matter what the time goal that we might have had the night before, everyone wakes up in the morning and they adjust because we need to give our bodies extra time to deal with the conditions. And it's no different when you're getting your kids ready to go to college. I see a lot of parents make the same mistake year after year by sort of just showing up on race day, sort of speak, and they're totally unprepared. And I see this all the time. They start without having the full picture of all of the important steps mapped out in their own minds. And in many cases, they don't fully understand the system to begin with. And so they just go through this thing, learning on the go, mostly through trial and error, and they naturally make a lot of mistakes along the way that create a lot of stress and a lot of overwhelm, and they lead to sort of unexpected, unintended results and consequences. And in the end, very few get the results that they were hoping for. So here's my advice to you. Plan like an endurance athlete. Realize that this is not a sprint. It's a marathon. And you can't run a marathon in just one giant leap. You got to take it one step at a time. So if you prepare, if you understand the system, and if you map out all of the steps and you know what to do and when, I promise you will cross the finish line. And more importantly, you'll cross that finish line feeling healthy and happy, knowing that you got the exact results that you wanted, versus so many other parents that cross that same proverbial finish line just feeling absolutely battered and drained and incredibly financially stretched and overcommitted. So plan ahead, give yourself some extra time, be flexible, and just show up prepared. So if you want some help getting prepared, I put together a free series of training videos that you can use to map everything out and understand what the system and the process looks like. So you have all of the key steps mapped out for you, so you can get your kids into those really, really good colleges at a price that you can comfortably afford. So go to 4moneysteps.com. That's www.4moneysteps.com to see those free training videos, and I'll map everything out for you. As always, look, I hope you found this helpful. And if you did, please hit like, share with your friends, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Look forward to talking to you soon. Have a great weekend, and all the best to you. Take care.